Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd like to share with you how I made my lantern for my pagoda by using plastic bottles and the caps of the plastic bottles. So I've got my plastic bottle, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off over there and over there. So what I'll be left with is this small centerpiece, like that, and then I'm just going to trim these small ridges at the top and at the bottom here off, so I've got a complete flat piece. So that's what's left. Now I've got a hot iron and some baking paper. Once you've finished ironing your piece of paper, you've got a rather attractive design on your bottle. And now I'm just going to do 6 of those for my 2 lanterns. Now take another one of your bottles and once again just cut the curved pieces off like that. So you're left with just the straight piece that comes in the middle. Now we're going to divide this into 4. So as you can see, it's got a little ridge in the middle here. So I'm going to use that as a guideline and cut that in half, and then cut these ones in half as well. To cut them in half, I'm using this center little groove, and I'm cutting on either side of the little groove. So I've cut one piece off, and I'm cutting along there, so that I've got the flat piece here. Then we cut that in half. So I've cut it into 4, so you will have a little thin piece of plastic that's left, which is about 3.5 centimeters wide. And now what we're going to do is, on the side where it's bending over like this in the reverse, we're going to take it and we're going to fold it so that it's exactly in half, and then just fold it all the way down. So we've got a little piece of plastic that looks like a V. These little pieces we're going to be gluing our caps to the ends of it, because this is the corner piece that is going to be holding the whole lantern together. For each lantern that you're making, you're going to need 3 corner pieces like this. So once you've got your plastic cut like that, which are the pieces that are going to form the corner pieces to join it all together, I find it easier if you take the corners and go down a little bit further and just tape that together so that it lies a little bit flat for when you're working on it. So I've got the corners taped so you can see it closes it up a little bit, not an awful lot, but a little bit. But you can squash that down a wee bit further by using the back of a pair of scissors to get it really, really flat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our caps and we're going to glue them on, lining them up exactly with the ridge. And you're going to glue the caps on both sides. So I'm just going to be using hot glue to glue those on. They'll look like that. So you've got the caps on both sides. Then just glue 7 caps on each side. Glue 7 caps on each side on 2 strips and 7 caps on just the one side on the other strip. To make the panels, take your 2 strips with 7 pieces on each and then glue them together with 2 caps in the middle on each side. Now take the other panel and glue it to the back of this one. So you're going to be gluing this panel like that. lining them up the best that you can and glue that on there. So you've got something that looks like that. Just remember to cut the tape at the top here before you try and open them, so that when you open them, your corner piece looks like that. Now just attach the other sides in exactly the same way. So we've got it loose at one side so that we can glue that later, and now we're going to attach the panels. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our plastic bottles and then cut them to size so that they fit on the panels like that. So I've cut my panel to size, and I don't know whether you can actually see, on the one side the bubbles protrude, on the other side they sort of like indent. For myself personally, I like the bubbles that are coming outward, so I'm going to be placing those ones face down to glue into my little light so that you can see the bubbles on the outside. Very difficult to see this. When you're gluing the plastic into the caps, glue onto the caps in preference to gluing onto the plastic, because the plastic does tend to melt. So I'm going to be starting by gluing this one on the inside. So lining it up and just holding it down until the glue sets. And now the same on the other side. And there's your one side done. Now we're going to just do the other two sides. When you're joining them, now what you have to do is glue it onto the little piece which is the side joiner, like that, so that you only have to glue those caps together once that's attached, and once you attach your piece of plastic to the other side like that. So now this is the hardest part on assembling this. So what you're going to do is lift that one up and then glue along there, all along there, and then slip that underneath and then hold it down. So that's the hardest part of this whole operation. Otherwise it's fairly simple. Now that you've got it all glued in place, now you can put your corner pieces on. So for the corner pieces, I'm going to be doing it on just the 3 corner pieces on the top right and the bottom left of my little design. So what I'm doing is, there's your cap. I'm just going to be going down, across, down, across, up and across. So it's a very, very, very simple design, and what I'm doing is I'm using my glue gun and putting that design on. Then I'm going to paint those all black and then sponge them gold. I've painted all the glue on top of the caps black, and now I'm going to be taking rich gold and just painting the glue. So they look like that. I'm going to be using a skewer. Now this is the normal size skewer that you would get for your kebabs, and you get a slightly thicker one. So I'm going to be using the thicker one to do this. And I've got a piece of just ordinary A4 paper, and what you're going to do is you're going to make a little roll. So taking your paper and just rolling it So I find the easiest way to roll it is to first of all start it and just give the paper a bit of a roll so that it's easier when it comes to rolling it. And then roll it as tight as what you can and go all the way to the end of the paper. Once you've rolled it all up, just tape it off. And then take the skewer out. And we've got one little pipe. Now, I'm going to just be using the back of a pair of scissors, and first of all you're just going to squash it so that all the way down so that it's flat. Then take the back of your scissors and just flatten it a lot more so you get nice sharp edges. Then fold it again by pushing it onto the other fold and folding in the same direction, and just do the same. And now open it out so that you've got a square. Now make 3 of those for each lantern that you're going to be making, so that I can get a really nice rich gold to my little corner pieces. I'm first going to be painting it with Mars Black, and then I'm going to be using rich gold afterwards to bring out the gold. If you just paint the gold onto the white, it's a very, very dull, insignificant colour, so you need the black to highlight the gold. For the top of the light, you just glue a triangle together, starting with 5 pieces and reducing by going 4, 3, 2 and 1. I'm going to be using these white LED lights, and there's only 30 on a wire, but it comes in a 3.4 meter length, so I'm just going to be taping those inside the little lantern. To tape the lights, then I'm just threading them all through the bottom of the lantern so that I can tape them in. So you can use whatever tape that you want. I'm just going to be using sticky tape to tape the lights down. So I'm starting at the bottom where the main shaft attaches to the little lights. So to put the lights in, I'm going to be going up this side and then across the top, across and then down and then up the other side and then down and across and up, so that when I come to the one side then I can go around the top and then it'll finish down on the bottom. So now we're back at the start, so now we're going to be going down again so that we can go around the top. And then the remainder of the lights I'm just going to be dangling in the middle. Once we've done that, then we can glue in the 3 pieces that we joined together. Put the 3 pieces, glue that in on the bottom, and the 5 pieces that we have, which is the top one, we're going to just glue on the top. As you can see, I've only put the designs in the top right hand corner and painted those gold, and then coming down on the bottom left hand corner just to give it a bit of a unique look. If you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it if you would subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.